All right, everybody. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Here we are, springtime, guys. We just got back from Lake Fork. And if you guys missed that final day of Lake Fork, wow, did they smash them. That was incredible. Big hats off to Lee Livesey. Long time coming on that place. And he absolutely put on a show. As did most of the top 10 guys. Those fish ate, and those guys really got dialed in on that bite. Made a Saturday cut, top 50. I needed that. Last couple of tournaments before that just hadn't been very good for me. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about accuracy and flipping. I've done pieces of what I'm going to show you guys in the past. I'm going to put it all together for you. The number one rule of thumb, or the number one most important thing to remember when you're flipping, and the number one most important thing to be successful as a flipper is accuracy. You have to be accurate every time, almost every single flip, in order to be successful flipping. So where do you start? I'm going to start with this. And everybody take a deep breath that's watching this. It's a mindset first. If you are not putting that bait exactly where you want it on a dime, nine times out of 10 flips, then maybe it may be time to make some changes to get yourself more accurate. You're going to get more bites. You're going to be more efficient on the water. You're going to get to make more casts, and you're going to create the right presentation more times. So everybody take a deep breath. And, the number one thing, tournament fishing, especially when we do it competitively, pride is a big factor. So I've heard this before. This is what I flip with. I'm always accurate, or it's a type of hook. I never lose a fish, guys. If you're not really that accurate, but you say you are and you don't make any changes, you're not going to become any more accurate. Always learn. Now, lots of opinions in this industry, and I'm going to give you some opinion-based techniques and some opinion-based things that I think makes me accurate and may help you to be more accurate. And there are a few physics things that I'm going to show you. That is not opinion. It's just physics. So kind of putting all that together into one to make you more accurate, especially when you're flipping soft plastics, jigs, because right now in the springtime, guys, that is super, super important. There's a couple of things that you need to realize. First off, rod. We're going to go through the rod length, very, very important to being accurate. We're going to go through line size, line diameter, and different types of weights, different sizes weights, even down to your flipping hook. So first off, I consider myself to be somewhat of a versatile angler. I think I can kind of do a little bit of everything fairly good. The one thing I can say, guys, is flipping. I am extremely accurate in my flipping. And that's why when I'm flipping and that bite's there, I typically catch them. Very, very accurate. You have to make pinpoint, accurate, and very quick decisions within a fraction of a second when you're reeling a bait up and you're going to make the next flip, especially when you're fishing a lot of cover. Like day one in Lake Fork, I weighed in almost 20 pounds, all flipping. I was flipping these really thick old willow bushes all over the place, so I had to be extremely accurate. First off, my go-to flipping setup. I'll never call it a strength, and I'm going to challenge everyone out there. If you say your strength is fishing a spinnerbait, or you say your strength is flipping, guys, that is a comfort zone, not a strength. Comfort zone. I am most comfortable flipping because I'm very accurate, and I'm able to kind of anticipate exactly where that fish is going to set up and exactly how that lure needs to be presented to him. So my go-to is this right here. First off, rod. Victory 7.3 medium heavy fast by St. Croix rods. Pegged, always pegged, guys. 5/16 ounce tungsten paired with a 4/0 Gamakatsu round bend worm hook. So, and a lot of people will disagree on the hook, but I'm not going to get into the hooks, guys. If you disagree with me on this, that's okay. But do me a favor and go back in my YouTube. It's about a year ago. I posted a video about the physics of hooks, and I want you to go watch that. Watch the physics. I do a test on them, and I tell you which ones, you can tell which ones have the best hook point penetration, and so forth. There is a reason I flip this hook, especially in heavy cover. I do not have an issue, but if you have a hook and you vary from this and your opinion's a little different, that's okay. If it's not broke, don't fix it. If you have incredible hookup ratio, you get longer life out of your soft plastics, then don't change. That's all I got to say about that. So, rod length. That's the first ticket. Now, you guys know St. Croix just came out with the Victory Series. Why is this rod unique? Tweener sizes. Most blanks run up to a 7 foot, and then they start back at a 7.4 and up. You know, a couple of them go to a 7.1, and then they start back up at 7.4 on above. I truly believe, especially for me, that 7.2 to 7.3 range is a gap that's missing very often. And I really think that 7.2 to 7.3 length is the sweet spot. That is kind of the median. I think that is right there in the middle. And I really believe that most people's comfort zone with a rod when you're flipping is going to be that 7.3. So start there. If you go with a rod that's too big, you're going to lose accuracy. It's going to cause fatigue. If you go to a rod that's too small, you're going to find yourself falling short of targets, overshooting targets. Finding that comfort zone in the middle that fits you the best is where to start at. 7.3 Victory, St. Croix rod, that's the median. I have more of these rods than anything because I can be so versatile with it. You got to find that first. Then, guys, fluorocarbon. All fluorocarbon is not created equally. Okay, guys, you get what you pay for with the quality of fluorocarbon. Now, I am typically this setup right here. I'm 20-pound Sunline shooter. I just started using it. Guys, I am not affiliated. I'm not paid to say this. The best flipping fluorocarbon I've ever rigged up. I just did it for the first time here at Fork. No affiliation. I bought it with my own money. It is unbelievably smooth. The big thing about fluorocarbon, especially if you get away from this one, is the higher pound test, the bigger diameter it is, and you start losing castability. You do not lose castability with this. It does not twirl. It does not start curling up on you. Wow, that stuff's incredible. I am sold from one event, never lost a fish flipping. I put the absolute meat to every one of those fish in thick cover and drug them out of there. Incredible, incredible. Sunline shooter. And this is their highest quality. The highest quality fluorocarbon made is this right here. It is expensive, but it is worth it. If you're going to go buy the cheapest fluorocarbon you can find, you're going to have issues, guys. There is a quality standard and level in fluorocarbon. You get what you pay for. So the reason why, I go with a 5/16. That's going to be the first thing. I go with a 5/16. That gets between a quarter and a 3/8. Guys, you need to find your comfort level as far as weights. You need to get really used to it, because if you're the person that keeps going back and forth between weight sizes, it's going to feel different. You're going to lose accuracy. My comfort zone is a 5/16. Do I vary from that? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. But that is my go-to. I am extremely accurate with this, and I can put that bait where I want it every single time. I take accuracy to another level. If I'm flipping heavy cover like bushes and stuff like that, I'm not just looking for a small hole. I'm looking for something to hit with that bait. For instance, willow bushes. Most of them are kind of hollow in the middle, and that's where those fish were for me. And I'm trying to pick a stick or a stop that's behind the hole. I'm trying to flip that bait, and I'm trying to hit that limb. Hit it and just barely let it bounce out of it and just flutter into the water. That's the presentation. That's when you get bit. That's the presentation that those fish are going to eat it more times than not. If you cannot do that 9 times out of 10, maybe make some changes. Number one, get comfortable. If your comfort zone is a quarter or a 3/8, flip with that most of the time unless conditions or the type of cover warrant for something different. Heavy cover, you may want to go to a heavy weight like mat and vegetation and stuff like that to get through it. That's okay. But when you're flipping isolated bushes and stuff like that, you have to be accurate every single time if you want to be successful. So, accuracy. Look at yourself in the mirror. and ask yourself, am I really that accurate? So going down to smaller weights. Guys, when I was at Sabine River, I was flipping the same thing, Missile Baits D-bomb on an 1/8 ounce, very small, just like this. You know, if you're flipping that 5/16 all day, and then all of a sudden you want to go to an 1/8 ounce, you're not really comfortable with it because you don't flip with it that much. It's flipping a lighter weight and a lighter bait on a bigger rod that you're more comfortable with. Heavier weights, you're going to start to lose accuracy. It is all muscle memory, and you're going to start to be less accurate. You're going to try to backlash more. It's just not going to make for a very, efficient day on the water flipping. So I will change rods when I go to an 1/8 ounce, because if you're trying to flip a very small or a much lighter bait on the same bigger rod, you're not going to be as accurate. You're going to backlash. I actually go down to a 7-1 Legend Extreme by St. Croix. That's what I was doing at the Sabine River, because I was fishing very, very shallow cover, very tight, and I was not making long flips at all, which was the opposite of Lake Fork. The other thing that I do, I go down to a 7-1, 1/8 ounce tungsten. The other thing I run a shallow spool, a little bit shallower. So if I fill up a spool regular, I'll probably take about 30 yards or so off of it. It's a little bit shallower spool. You can be more accurate. It's going to backlash less when you're making very tight and short flips and you're trying to cover a stretch of reeds or something that are in a foot of water. And I'm trying to be very, very accurate and making very short flips. So I will actually go down. Shorter rod, you're going to have more control over a lighter bait in that situation. So that's another key to making sure that you kind of follow the technique with the rod size and application to make sure that you're more accurate. So, flipping is an awesome way to catch them this time of year, guys. There's a lot of different opinions when it comes to that. I will tell you this, rod selection and rod length is your most important thing you need to figure out. Guys, there is thousands of YouTube videos on rod selection. You're gonna talk to 10 million different people that have all different, opinions about it. Guys, find the one that's right for you, nobody else. I don't care if your dad's fishing a different rod or your fishing partner, and heck, you're reading something with Kevin Van Dam and he's fishing a 7-11 heavy flipping. Guys, that does not mean that's the best rod for flipping. We're all created differently. I'm not a tall guy. I don't have real long arms, and those type of guys are going to fish with the longer rods. That would fatigue me. I would lose accuracy. I'd be slapping the water a lot when I'm trying to flip underhanded. I mean, you're not going to be very efficient. Guys, play with the rods yourself, put different actions, put different lengths, especially for flipping, until you find the one that feels effortless. I'm telling you, it's there, it is out there, you're going to see it. Whenever you put that perfect rod length for you in your hand, it's going to seem effortless. And guys, rod length, number 1. 2, fluorocarbon. Guys, all fluorocarbon is not created equally, okay? If you go cheap, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna get line breakages. You're not gonna be able to get accuracy. You're gonna lose castability in the bigger diameter fluorocarbons. So Sunline Shooter, the best I've ever put in my hand. Not paid to say that. So, and guys, get really comfortable with a weight size. Don't 3/8 one day, 5/16 another day, a quarter one day. It's just, you're not going to get that muscle memory and really get comfortable doing it. Is there situations where you need to go smaller and a little bigger? Yes, but get that comfort zone and that muscle memory and flip with that exact same weight most of the time so you can get that muscle memory going. If you downsize, you may need to go to a shorter rod depending on what you're doing. So I hope that helps, guys. Remember, you must be accurate. And then first thing to think of, it's mental. Let's be real. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I as accurate as I say I am? So the next time you go flipping and you got a really sweet spot in a bush or a really sweet spot underneath the dock, and every time you get to that sweet spot, it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5 cast flips to get it in there to where you want it. You're not that accurate of a flipper, or you're not as accurate as you need to be very successful. Guys, play with it. Make sure you choose what works best for you. We could go into flipping hooks and opinions on that, guys, but get comfortable. in your approach and what you're doing, and make that your comfort zone. Make one setup the comfort zone that you like to live in, and then adjust from there. But guys, I hope this helped a little bit. Oh, one more thing. Guys, I see a lot of people flipping that don't keep their thumb on the spool. Guys, that is speed control. If you're one of those guys who don't keep your thumb on the spool when you're flipping and it's just free spooling out there, you're gonna be splashing on top of them. You're not gonna be accurate doing that. I use that, and while that bait leaves my hand and I'm flipping it out there, my thumb is riding on that spool, and I can see that bait going, whether it's too fast, and I can adjust it with pressure on my thumb. It's gonna become natural to you eventually, but that thumb riding on that spool is your speed control, and that's what's going to make you very accurate. So forgot to add that in there. Speed control is everything. Rod length is everything. Fluorocarbon is everything, guys. It's all of these things have to come together to your comfort zone. You're gonna find that, guys. Play with it. If I can help answer any questions, guys, shoot me up, shoot me a message. I will be glad to answer any questions I can to try to help you to become a better fisherman, more accurate. You're gonna put more fish in your boat, and you're gonna have more confidence in yourself and your equipment. You have to trust every part of your equipment to be successful, especially flipping, guys. So guys, springtime, go out and catch some big ones. I wanna see them. And if I can help you guys, or there's something you guys did not see that you wanna see, holler at me. And you guys know missile baits flipping kit is out. So everything that I just showed you is in this bag. There's 5/16 ounce weights. There's the 4-aught Gamakatsu round end hooks. There's pegs. You get like 6 packs of baits in there, guys. Missile baits, Crawfather, along with my go-to, the D-bomb. You guys all know that. So holler if you have any questions. Oh, by the way, missilebaits.com is the only place you can get them. Holler if you have any questions. Tight line, guys, and I hope you guys are smashing them this springtime. See you guys later. Dream big.